There is a sound that can reach into your body and grip you, and it is made of nothing. You know the moment. A song builds, a voice breaks open, a final chorus crashes in, and suddenly a wave runs up your spine and across your scalp. Your skin tingles. Your eyes might even sting. For a few seconds, you are completely held by a pattern of air pressure hitting your eardrum. Music is just vibration. It cannot feed you, protect you, or warm you. So why does it move you like a hand on the back of your neck? You might call it being touched by a song. But the real answer is far stranger than emotion. Scientists have a name for that wave down your spine. They call it Frisson, or sometimes more vividly, a skin orgasm. The term was pushed into the conversation by the neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp, who studied the chills that music produces. And here is the first surprising fact. The music most likely to give you chills is not always happy music. It is often sad, or bittersweet, or aching. The sound of longing reliably produces this full-body rush of pleasure. Your nervous system, it turns out, can taste beauty in sadness. So what is physically happening when the chill hits? In 2011, the researchers Valerie Salampour and Robert Zatorre at McGill University found people who reliably got chills from particular pieces of music, put them in a brain scanner, and watched what happened at the precise second the wave struck. Those peak moments triggered the release of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, the same signal involved in the pleasure of food, of sex, of things your body treats as essential for survival. Music, which keeps you alive in no way at all, was lighting up the same ancient reward system as the things that do. But the truly fascinating part was the timing. The dopamine did not only spike at the peak, it surged in the seconds just before, during the buildup, in anticipation. Your brain was being rewarded not just for the payoff, but for correctly predicting that the payoff was coming, and that is the key that unlocks the whole mystery. Music does not move you with sound, it moves you with expectation. This is the life's work of the music theorist David Huron, who argues that much of musical emotion comes from the brain's relentless habit of prediction. Your brain is a prediction machine. Every moment it is guessing what comes next, in the world, in a sentence, in a sound. Music is a playground built out of this. A melody sets up a pattern. Your brain, without your permission, predicts where it is going. Then the music delays the note, bends it, holds the tension one beat too long. It lands on a chord that feels almost right but leaves you hanging. And when the resolution finally arrives, often bigger than you imagined, your brain gets a flood of reward for a prediction confirmed after suspense. A composer who gives you chills is, without knowing the neuroscience, playing your prediction machine like an instrument. They learned by ear that a promise kept late is felt more deeply than a promise kept on time. So why does that reward come with a physical shiver? This is where it connects to something much older. That tingling rush is your fight-or-flight system firing, the same surge that would brace you against danger. Some researchers think frisson happens when a sudden, powerful musical moment, a key change, a swelling chorus, an unexpected harmony, briefly trips your threat detection system. For a split second, part of your brain reacts as if something big just happened. The body floods with arousal. The old reflex lifts the hair on your skin. And then, an instant later, the rest of your mind says, "It's only music. You are safe." And what is left is the pure physical thrill with none of the fear. Danger's body wearing beauty's face. Have you noticed that the songs that give you the strongest chills are often tied to a memory or ones you first heard at an emotional time in your life? That is not a coincidence. A song you fell in love to or grieved to carries all of that prediction and meaning folded inside it. When it plays, your brain is not just tracking the notes. It is replaying who you were. Now step back and ask the deeper question. Why would evolution build a brain that can be overwhelmed by organized sound at all? Music does not obviously help you survive, and yet every known human culture everywhere across all of history makes it. No society has ever been found without music. Whatever this is, it is core to being human. The best guesses point to connection. Music synchronizes people. A drum beat pulls a crowd into the same rhythm. A song binds a group into one voice. The chills you feel may be tied to the same machinery that bonds you to other people, the rush of being swept up in something larger than yourself. And not everyone is built to feel this. Some people get chills almost daily. Others have never felt them once. In 2016, a researcher named Matthew Sachs looked at the brains behind that divide and found that people who reliably get the chills have a physically different brain structure. They have denser bundles of nerve fibers, connecting the part of the brain that processes sound to the parts that handle emotion and reward. More cabling between hearing and feeling. Some brains are simply built with a shorter path between the ear and the heart. There is also a reason the songs that wreck you are so often the songs of your youth. Psychologists call it the reminiscence bump. The music that moves people most powerfully tends to come from their adolescence and early 20s. That is the window when your brain is forming your identity, when everything feels enormous and permanent, and when memories are laid down with unusual strength. The songs you bonded to in those years got wired directly into the story of who you are. So decades later, when one plays, your brain is reaching back into the most formative chapter of your life. The chills are partly the sound of your younger self answering back. And this goes back almost unimaginably far. Archaeologists have found flutes carved from bird bone and mammoth ivory that are around 40,000 years old. Before written language, before farming, before cities, your ancestors were sitting in cold caves making music. Some scientists argue it is a kind of happy accident, a dessert that presses several of the brain's pleasure buttons at once, the systems built for speech, emotion, and reward. Others argue it is too universal, too ancient, and too socially powerful to be a side effect. A song can make hundreds of people breathe and move and feel as one. And for a species that survives by cooperation, that is no trivial trick. So look at what is really happening when a song breaks you open. Salampur and Zadare showed your brain pays you in dopamine, the currency of survival. Huron showed it pays you for prediction, for the dance of expectation and release. Panksepp named the rush and found its strange love of sadness. And underneath it all, your oldest alarm system fires, mistaking beauty for something momentous, then leaving only the thrill behind. Music gives you chills because your brain cannot tell the difference between a pattern that matters and a pattern that is merely beautiful. And maybe that is the point. Maybe beauty is what it feels like when something matters for no reason at all. So the next time a song sends that wave up your spine, remember what is actually happening. Nothing is touching you. No danger is near. It is only air, shaped into expectation, played back to a brain that was built to predict the future and reward itself for getting it right. You're being moved completely by nothing. And that may be the most human thing you ever do.